Hey retailers, welcome to this week's workshop slash webinar, which I'm calling the profit approach for retailers. So this week's theme has been all about improving profitability in your retail business. And today I'm going to walk you through 3 ways that I recommend you go about doing that. So there's a worksheet associated with this. If you want a copy of the worksheet, just pop the word worksheet below and either myself or the team will get it out to you. Also, if you're watching this live, I'd love for you to smash that like button, type the word live in the comment section below. And if you're watching the replay, same thing. If you could pop the word replay, it just helps me know when the best time to put these do these live webinars on. Yeah, so let's just dive straight into it. So, with the current economic crisis that's supposedly foreseeing all over the world, is, and especially, I guess, us in retail land, presumed going to be affected with it all. And one of the main things that retailers do is, we tend to focus on our top line revenue and we focus on marketing, and these are all great things. But one of the often overlooked components is looking at our profitability. And I believe we should all be, as retailers, focusing on profitability in the beginning. And because it's once we start to really make some profits, we can then start to invest in initiatives that we can use for marketing. And also, funnily enough, once we set up a really good profit generating system in our retail business, that also involves a bit of tracking and measuring, which I think is super important once you set up the fundamentals. And then, you can really start to do some marketing, which I think is, one of the big missing pieces. As retailers, we tend to try all these different marketing techniques, but we actually don't have any way of knowing whether the marketing technique is working, which is one thing. So we've got no way of tracking and measuring. And the second part is we actually don't spend enough time, or we don't actually allow enough time for our marketing initiatives to work. So, just a couple of major mistakes I think we make as retailers. But nevertheless, let me get into the meat and potatoes. Let's rock and roll with the profit approach workshop. Like I said, there is a worksheet. If you want to copy the worksheet, just pop the word worksheet below, and let's get started. If I can figure this out. Yeah, here we go. Awesome. All right. So, one of the major problems that we have, like I briefly touched upon in our retail businesses, is that we have this love for making sure that our revenue is constantly growing, and all our initiatives in our retail business are focused on revenue most of the time. And not only that, as I touched upon, we tend to focus on marketing a lot. And when we go down trying to solve this Rubik's cube, if you will, of focusing on revenue and focusing on marketing, we tend to get distracted, right? And we tend to get distracted and really end up only focusing on one thing. And how it is, like, you're running your business, and we think revenue's the great thing, and it is, later on down the track. But it's so easy to get seduced by revenue because you're turning over all this money and you're thinking you're making all this money, whereas actually, you're not, because quite often you're not really paying attention to how much actual money you're making from implementing these revenue generating and also marketing initiatives. So I think that's a really big problem. And so the cause of this is, like I said, this happens to us because we're often seduced by top line revenue, and we're seduced by the marketing. And also the same things kind of apply when we're running our business on a day-to-day level, and we become so myopic in our approach, and we only really look at this aspect of our business. And hey, I know, because I was also running a retail business. I was running large pharmacies, and it's so easy just to get stuck in that same mindset of focusing on revenue, or trying all these crazy marketing techniques, or trying different marketing techniques, and really not really giving them a go. not really having a system in place to measure what our return on investment is or is with our marketing initiatives, So I think it's a really big, one of the really big causes of having, this kind of myopic behavior. And, actually, to get back to it again, like nobody actually teaches us this stuff, right? Even if you, perhaps even if you did an MBA, or most of us did some university level stuff, we're really only taught about marketing and revenue generation. Nobody really teaches us about the whole profit side of things. I wonder why. I'm not really sure why, but I think because it's the profit, which is the money that you have at the end of the day after you've paid all your operating costs. That's the actual money that's actually going to make you rich, and that's going to make you wealthy. It's going to allow you to invest in your business. And I'm jumping the gun again. So let me just get my. So that's, I think, the cause, right? And so if we get this right, if we get this whole profit-centric approach to our business right, we are going to have more money. We obviously, and so more money means we're going to be able to reinvest in our business. We are going to be able to pay our bills on time. We can now start to really look at some initiatives that we can implement in place, such as revenue generation initiatives, marketing initiatives. So we can start to implement these if we get this whole profit piece right, because the aspect of the aspect of profit generation in our business forces us to pay a little bit more attention to the numbers and a little bit more attention to tracking and measuring. And so I think that's really, really important. And I think it's one of the fundamental foundations. I don't know if there's that double entendre, but I think it's one of the essentials in running any business, and especially, our retail businesses. So if we get this right, we're going to have a whole heap more money, which we to reinvest in our business, invest in our team, which is really important. And actually, we're going to have a way to manage our money as well, and I'll go through that. And at the end of the day, once we get the profitability piece all right, we're going to have more profits. And I keep harping on this idea is that more profits are great because it increases the value of our business. Because in most industries, I think in nearly every industry, including retail, the value of your business is based on your net profit that you make, that you generate on a yearly basis. And businesses sell for a multiple of your net profit or your EBIT. And yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm never going to sell my retail business. That's great. What I'm going to propose is that, by working on this profit piece, we're going to have a far more efficient business. And, once you get to the stage where you can revalue your business, and, if you want to go to the market and get some more funding, and a bank or a third-party lender will value your business at a high level because you're going to be making more profits, and you're going to have greater access to funding, and you're basically going to have a much better business because it's going to be far more efficient. I wonder if I got my point across. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, here we go. So here's what you need to do. I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you through what you need to do in these to start to generate more profits in your business. Like I said, if you want a copy of this worksheet, just pop the word worksheet in the comment section below. So let's run through quickly what you need to do to improve profits in your retail business. So the first thing you need to do is to raise your margins intelligently. Okay, so many of us as retailers, we're pretty scared about raising our margins, and fair enough. And most retailers, I think, are scared about raising their margins because they're worried that they're going to lose sales. So this is where you need to have a system in place, and what I call raising your margins intelligently. You can't just raise your margins across the board because you're going to freak out your market. You're not going to pay attention to market dynamics, and it needs to be an intelligent approach to raising your margins. So that's the first thing that you need to do, right? Second part is you need to pay yourself first. So why is this important when you're running a retail business? Well, This is, a lot of people have used this analogy, and in managing money, it's just another way to manage money. It's a way for you to put your profit that you accumulate in your business and put it into different buckets. And so the idea of that is paying yourself first from and putting it into other buckets or other bank accounts. So basically, you don't touch that money, and you're already sort of foreseeing the future and taking that money out and keeping it aside. So that does a few things. That forces you to run your business in a much efficient manner, because if you've got money coming in and you're automatically putting it out, it's a form of budgeting. Is the quickest way for me to explain it without going through the whole system. Obviously, we work through the whole system with our clients on how to do that. So you need to pay yourself first as a matter of efficiency. Excuse me. The third part you need to do is you need to create a rock star team. Okay. So, many of us, I feel, and I did the same in the beginning, and all of my clients, well, not all, but a lot of my clients to make the same mistake is we have a team of people that are working with us, who are working for us, who want to do really amazing things and help our clients and customers, right, with whatever problem that we solve as a function of our retail business. So, how many of us actually spend the time to develop our team? And, when you do start to develop your team, how are you developing them? What are you focusing on? And, what things do you need to focus on to ensure that your team are firing on all cylinders, that they're selling the most profitable items in the store, that they're providing the full solution to your customers and clients, right? And, I mentioned the word rockstar because when you have the right people in place and when you develop the right people in your business, this absolutely drives profits through the roof, because, like I always say, the business should, run without you. So as you start to take a step back, and as we start to teach you how to take a step back from the day-to-day running of your business, because whilst you may be the number one salesperson on the floor that you think, this whole business relies on you, and we don't want to do that. So we want to empower your team so that they're constantly selling, providing the best service, the best solutions to your clients and customers, so that the machine operates without you even being there. And another thing, the machine continues to operate and grow without you being there. So you need to set up systems in place so that you can start to create a rock star team. Super, super important. Of course, and nothing happens without implementation. Like, I'm sure many of us have done the same kind of things. I've done this before. I've used to read books and work with coaches and attend a seminar, and you come back with all these ideas, and all of a sudden it becomes analysis paralysis, because you've got so much shit to do in your own store, plus you've also got so many you want to try and implement all these techniques, and you reach a stage where it's like, oh, fuck it, it's all too much. So I think the implementation piece is so important. And I think one of the key things about implementation is accountability. If you're accountable to someone, a mentor, somebody else, a business friend, or even perhaps a coach, you're actually going to get shit done. And I think that's so important as part of the strategy of growing your retail business, okay, and improving profitability. And of course, the last thing is that you need to do is, obviously, you need to track and measure. So, you need to be able to track and measure your profitability and all the strategies that I've spoken about, those three strategies, to ensure that you're moving in the right direction. And, what gets measured gets managed. It's an old saying that, so I can't remember who said it, but you need to make sure that you start to track and measure all of these things. Hopefully you're using a KPI dashboard. If you are not, have a look at one of my other workshops about setting up a KPI dashboard, which is one of the key essentials in tracking and measuring in your business. So, yeah. So if this all sounds really, really hard, that's why you need to work with somebody. Just send me a message and I can help you work through all of this stuff in your business, because by chunking it down and simplifying things and working on these aspects of your business at a section at a time, you can actually create an avalanche of results and profits. Okay, yeah, cool. So hopefully you found that useful on what you need to do. So in summary, to create an amazing retail business, I would argue that marketing is not the only way. It certainly is a great way, but I think, as you know, many of us as retailers are not really set up to do marketing in the correct way. By focusing on the three above methods, we can quickly increase our profits in our retail business, and we basically need to take action from all of using all of these things, these strategies. Okay, so hopefully you found that useful. You've got a lot of things here that if you even try one of these strategies in the next 7 days, you'll be you're not only going to get x-ray vision into your business, but you're going to be like, wow, what the fuck did I do to leave all that money on the table? And actually realize, and once you actually realize that it's not all about revenue, it's actually the money that you take home and the net money that you have, the joy of owning your retail business suddenly takes on a whole new level of enjoyment, I guess. And it's really good fun. Cool. I think I'm done. Yeah, that'll do. So like I said, thanks for watching. If you liked it, smash the like button. If you think somebody else might find benefit from this, please make sure you tag them, send them the link. I always appreciate that. And until next week, I'll see you again. So thanks, retailers. Much love, and catch you later. If you want to copy the worksheet, just write the word worksheet. So ciao.